Hey guys, good morning. I wanted to do a video today on a couple things that really go hand in hand. The first one is becoming your highest self, your happiest self, the person that loves you to the fullest extent and respects, yourself to the fullest extent, and doesn't take life for granted, and works on yourself and spends time by themselves to figure out who they are and what they want. And the second part of that, which they go hand in hand, is what I feel is the most important thing anybody can strive to do with this time that we have on this earth, and that's having a positive influence and impact on as many people as possible. And so the first part of that, obviously you can have a positive impact on others, even though everybody, I feel, has room to grow. But when you start respecting yourself and loving yourself and doing the things that you've always wanted or have called at you, that inner voice like I talked about before, where you've heard of something or know of something and you're just like, mercy, I want to try that, but for whatever reason you don't, whether it's, life gets busy, or a lot of times it's something you're worried about what somebody else will think, which is total bullshit. But I get it. I've been there and I'm still there. It's hard to become 100% in the here and now for your life, and it's a hard habit to break because everybody's kind of molded that way in society today with social medias and everything. So basically, when you start spending time by yourself and getting to know who you are and what drives you and what your passions are and what you love, opportunities start presenting themselves, and you'll see everything like it's written out in front of you. You'll definitely be a happier person. There's no doubts about that whatsoever, because you'll start realizing that you've been asleep your whole life, in this sense of, I'm not doing this or that, or I'm doing this or that because this person will like it or that person won't like it. And so you're not living for you. Your life is based off of somebody else's opinion and what they think. And so once you start that journey of, okay, I'm going to start doing the things I love and living my life truly for me, you're going to become a happier person, and you're going to have a more positive impact on the people around you, with your vibe and your vibration, your energy. And so really take some time, and there's nothing wrong with that, even if you're in a relationship, or you have kids, which those I've used them before, but they're piss poor excuses, and it's just a way to procrastinate doing the things that you need to do to get to who you are. So tell yourself today, I'm going to start striving to, even if you start out with 10, 15, half hour a day, doing something that you love, or researching something that you love, or meditating, or hanging out with a friend, or whatever puts you in a happy place. And then you can start spanning that time frame to where it's something you do on a daily basis, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. And you'll start learning so much about yourself that you just had no idea was there, or you had no idea who you were. And you'll truly start living your life the way you want to and what makes you happy, which is, the reason we're here. I mean, it's to me, this topic right here is, this two-part topic is what is most important in my life, because why are we put on this earth? Why are we living? I feel like that's a question that everybody ponders, even if they think they know. But we're not truly living our own lives. We're living our lives through somebody else's opinion, or what we see on TV, or what everybody else is doing, instead of being yourself, being the best self that you can be every single day. And so once you start doing that and taking that time out for yourself, it's not selfish in any way. Everybody deserves to be happy. I mean, that's why we're here, to have experiences and teach and learn and have just a positive, loving, compassionate influence on the people around us. And so that's kind of the first part of that, and they go hand in hand, because the second part of that is you're going to start having a positive influence and influencing lives like you wouldn't believe. And and you may be even now, and you just don't even know it, because somebody's afraid to tell you, or it's kind of one of those hidden messages. So I was actually talking to a friend the other day who was a nurse at a hospital. She had been there for years, and one thing she loved about herself was her smile. And this man and his wife, they were an elderly couple. The wife was in the hospital, and I think she only had a certain amount of time that the doctor said she was going to be here. And this friend of mine would pass this gentleman every day, talk to him and just be in his presence. And so he stopped her one day, and he told her that her smile just lit up whatever room she was in the area she was in, and it warmed his heart. And he said that although my wife doesn't have that much longer to live here, and that's a hard pill to swallow, seeing your smile every day gives my heart some ease and peace, just being in that positive, happy presence. And it really touched me, because that's one thing I've always loved about myself, was my smile. And we all go through times in life where we let reality and the situations we're in dictate those things. So there's been a lot of times where I've let people or things take that part of me away, and so I was able to relate to it, and just hearing that really touched every fiber of my being, because it's one of those small things that takes no energy whatsoever, that any one of us can do, and you literally change people's lives by smiling. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, and it's like I said, it's the easiest thing you can do. And so, on the flip side, when we're in those situations, going back to working on yourself and not being your highest self and not being happy, when we're like that, we put those vibrations off to the people around us, and that actually makes their lives worse as well. So when you start working on yourself and becoming your higher self and being happy and truly living for you and wanting to have a positive impact on others, and as many as you can, those things are going to come out in you, like your smile or your gestures, or helping people out, and you're going to change people's lives. You're going to make their time here. It's just going to freaking change the world, and I feel like we should all strive to do that and be positive as much as we can, in the sense of having a positive impact on other people's lives. Like I said, it's the easiest thing you can do to smile, and even though you may not see it on a daily basis of who you're impacting or how you're impacting them, it's still happening. It's still happening, and you're putting peace in people's heart, and you're putting love in people's heart, and you're triggering a domino effect. So you know, you'll start putting out those vibrations. That's going to change somebody else's mood or day, which is going to fill them up, and they're going to start reflecting that and projecting that to others, and so on and so forth. And you smiling at one person, you know, if you really think about it, you wouldn't believe the impact that can have. It's like I used to try to strive to do things as a career, to try to judge what I was doing on if I was helping, how many people I was helping, or this and that. But I wasn't really looking at it the right way, because you can do a lot more changing just with the simplest things in life, like smiling or being happy or being kind, than you can focusing on those other things and getting lost in you know, the modern day way of thinking. So it's super easy to do. Like I said, work on yourself. That's the biggest thing you can do. One of my favorite sayings, and it's one of my past posts, is if you want to change the world, if you want to change the lives around you, if you want to change the planet, whatever you want to change, you have to change yourself first and better yourself and work on yourself. And that's something that you're going to continue to do for the rest of your life. But like I said in a past video, that's the beauty of it. There's never an end to all this, or a level that you get to where you don't have to do anymore. You constantly grow. I don't care if it's you know, the Pope or whoever. There's always room to grow. You will never stop learning or picking things up from others, and bettering yourself and changing and becoming your higher self. So start today. Don't put it off anymore because of where you're at in your life with your job or your relationship or the people around you. And that's another big thing of becoming your higher self. If there's people holding you back, see you bye. I mean, you're not going to be able to get to do the things you love if you're keeping those negative people that are having a negative influence and impact on your life around. It's a hard decision to make, and sometimes you don't even have to make it. When you start on this journey of becoming your higher self, you're going to find that people are just going to shoot away, and you won't have to do any work. And sometimes you do have to make the steps, but once you start working on yourself and realizing all these things about, you know, hey, I really do need to start loving myself, and I really do need to start respecting myself, those decisions are going to be easier to make, because you'll realize that you can't get any further because of these people that are in your life that are holding you back or slowing you down or just slamming you with negative energy and vibes. You're gonna be told you're a shitty person and you're selfish and so on and so forth, and that's okay. You know, that's just a matter of where they're at and their understanding and journey in their life. Again, that's their opinion. Just like we talked about before, stop living your life through other people's opinions. So when you start on this, you know, spiritual journey, or, you know, self-awakening or higher self, whatever you want to call it, keep in mind that those people are going to say and do these things to you, but you have to keep that mindset of that's exactly what you're trying to get away from, is basing your decisions off of what others think. If you know in your heart and your mind that you're a good person, and even if you decide to take this journey, that right there tells you that you're trying to better yourself. You may be not where you want to be yet, but the fact of the matter is you know where you want to go. And so once you start taking in people's opinions, no matter who it is, family, friends, strangers, people at your work or job, you have to let those negative influences go, or you're never going to get anywhere, because they're just going to continue to hold you back. You're going to continue basing your decisions off of what their opinions are or what they say to you, which that's their life, that's not yours. I mean, it's okay for anybody to think whatever they want to, but it's just an opinion, you know.